Alba, you're on. Alba. Let's do Alba. Yes, do you have a microphone, Alba? Cool. Add you into the call. Hey, Alba.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm looking the bebop. Sorry, I have a potato English right now. So
No, don't worry. That's good. Just looking quickly at your stuff as we share the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Just I see you also like color and creativity in color. It's pretty cool. I think you posted this somewhere, no? I think I've seen it. It's got server already. I think in this case, you still want to make sure that the sky is somewhat bright because the moon is there. So this area would still be a bit bright. And then when you have moon in this direction, you would expect the trees to kind of be silhouette rim light, and so is this area. You want to kind of enhance those pieces to break them from the background. So when you do lighting, you also just image really in general. When you look at images, you want to make sure that you can see that it's 3D. You want to make sure you can see the depth, and that's where light come in. And here I would have rimmed light using spotlight if I needed to make sure this is separated a little bit from the background, which is the rocks, and this is the from the sky basically. Yeah, I like you trying to do it here, which is basically what you would be doing here, or compositionally you would maybe not keep this around, you would maybe remove it altogether. These are also some of the choices, and you want to avoid these tangents, which is basically having 3D models on top of other 3D models. You want to try and have a clean image. You would have these maybe on the right side instead, and pointing towards your focal point, which would be around here basically. You can see that you're trying to do it. You're also, there's basically two values here, so you want to make sure that this is technically and in theory the brightest. You can see it's the same case with your references. The sky is still very bright. It's rim lighting here. You can see it's pretty bright, and it's not really as bright here, so you want to make sure you follow those ideas and references. And you can see, even the rocks, there's a certain brightness. You can still see something in the shadows. The same you can see here on this reference on the edges of the walls. So this would be the wall representation, and this would be the wall representation. So we would try and make sure that these are properly lit up basically to kind of enhance your pieces a little bit. So when I say that, it's really not too complicated really. Stuff works. And you would just try and bring out the pieces a little bit where you need to make it, a little bit brighter. And it's the same here as well. Want to make sure the light hits here, kind of, shaping this a little bit. It's kind of the same here. making sure that this one is kind of being shaped. And I'm doing very subtle changes at the moment. You know, you want to make sure that these things exist in your pieces too. Kind of work around that. Because you're already doing it, it's just that you need to push it a little bit more to a little bit higher level.
It
Need
looks
to.
so better.
Don't be afraid to go a little bit over. It's better that you, because this is still an artistic piece. You're meant to have a little bit fun and show your work. You know, show how light works if you need to. Just a little bit there, maybe a little bit there, maybe a little bit there. And then if need to, you sometimes go a bit overboard, you know, a little bit there, just the bright spot on the edges. I'm not touching this because I think this is already pretty good. So I'm not doing it too much because it's already too bright. And it's just subtle, understanding shape and form a little bit. And then, let's see if it wants me to do it. Go, I don't know how much we can go. I think I can pick shadow because it's pretty dark piece. And I go here and, you know, maybe try and kind of enhance the piece a little bit, so it's popping up the sky just a little bit off the image. Okay, so you see the difference?
Yes.
Okay,
It
so
looks so better.
that's basically what I mean when I'm looking at the pieces in general, and I can spot that in general when I'm looking at all your pieces. It's the same principles I want to give. I spend a lot of time with my students who join the mentorship. It's the same thing. It's the same thing here. You're losing the quality of your image because of the use of fog. Again, it's a very common problem I have to pick out. It's okay, you know, you're having fun and you're learning. Nothing wrong with that. But personally, I try and, because you're losing all the black. You know, because of the light is kind of evening out the shadow a bit too much. So here you would try and make it a bit darker, and then you would try and figure out. You don't have a lot of information here either. You know, it's that's not very good. Just having this area, because you want more information because there's a lot of light here. So you want to make sure that there is more information you can use and work with. So again, you know, we want to make sure you're comfortable, you know, whatever you're doing, you just play around, you know, we're painting with light now, you know, just having a bit of fun. Boom, boom. Do a little bit over here. Not be uncomfortable, sort of look around a little bit, think about it, then maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to make this a bit more brighter. This one maybe you want to go a little bit overboard, you know, and then sometimes you might do review it and you might go, okay, it's too much or it's too little. That's perfectly fine. But this image is also very dark. You know, you have light hitting there, but I don't see anything here. So you want to make sure that's a bit visible as well. And then sometimes you might go, okay, you don't want the light to reveal too much in some areas. Maybe this one is too distracting. So maybe make this one a bit darker. And, you know, just simple stuff like this. I mean, it's not simple because you have to actually do the stuff, but you know, it's just about, you see, you're breaking the image and kind of crunching the image a little bit to give it that subtle detail that is kind of missing in some of these works that we have, generally speaking, really. You know, and when I do this, it suggests to me, you know, generally that's, you know, struggling a little bit because there's not enough information. And then you also want to think a little bit about your color choices. You know, you want to get some warmth in. I think you could probably have some fun with more green, maybe a little bit purple, and then we go a little bit blue. you know, and suddenly you get a more balanced image because you want to maintain some of the color of your actual assets, textures, and materials, and you can see everything becomes the same color here. You know, you're losing a little bit of the detail of the books and everything, even the white color. So you want to kind of balance out that and bring that image out. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
But I have a problem with that thing because I use a reference for a film, and in the film, the lights, for example, was extremely blue, green, turkey, and yes, I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a problem to change. So okay, you have the reference, and it's not a problem to change the aspect of the reference. I don't know if I explain it.
So here,
It's
obviously, it's color graded a lot.
mm,
The light.
I don't think how to translate. Sorry.
But when I do this kind of work, either I add the color of the light ahead of time, because if I'm going to color grade it, the reason in movies they can't, it's expensive, it's difficult for them to do it on set, so they have to do something afterward. We can do it inside the engine, inside the software. So I would just make this the color when I light it, so I don't have to color grade it afterwards, because
Okay.
then I know this is orange. Because if you color grade it, the whole image gets the same color. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I have an old piece somewhere. It's exactly kind of doing the same thing. So this one is greenish. I think it was this one. It's kind of the same thing I was trying to do here as well. You know, it's just the same thing with getting the green tone. This is one of my earlier pieces when I was doing some stuff, you know, and I getting some green tone and then kind of figuring out. And the problem here is it gets too dark, which is fine because the light is coming from the back. But the problem here is then you're struggling back and forth with the color grading that you're struggling with. So yeah, I mean, it does take a time. You need to get some help in these areas, of course, and learn a couple of things. So it makes sense you're having some challenges with this. Another thing is to add color to the fog. It's that you keep everything white and then you add in the colors afterwards if you need to do that. So you can see this is kind of warm, and then this is the green light, and the fog is affected by it. So you could have a white light, but then you can change the color of the fog as well if you wanted to. So anyways, hey, you're learning, and that's the point. You know, you have to just keep trying. And this one is pretty cool though. I like the acoustic here and the nice balance of light. The range of the light might be too far in some cases, but overall it's not too bad. It's a bit different than some of the other pieces. The only issue here, I would probably not compete so much with these three lights. I would probably try and balance this out. So I would most likely have I would have considered probably balancing the colors a little bit, and also maybe dimming down maybe the middle just to darken it out a little bit, and not have it take too much of the attention really. Maybe even turn it off actually in some cases, because right now you have three lights and you don't really need all of them, to be honest. That's probably what I would have done. Maybe even turn off one side. I might have just have fun with one side and kind of make this darker and kind of let this light make it dominant on the blue side, and then this is purple. You could have tried that as well, actually. It's always funny with the windows. People are doing different things with the windows as well. Yeah, this is definitely an improvement here, at least. I'm just gonna see what happens if you want a bit more purple. Yeah, I probably will push the purple a little bit more, actually. In this case, because you wouldn't have purple in real life in a tube like this with water anyway, so you could have some fun and be a bit more creative. But I would definitely not have all three lights competing for attention. I would have dimmed down a little bit. That's good. It's cool. You're doing good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
sorry
up
for
the
my
good work.
English.
Nice, all right. No problem. I have a lot of students from other countries, so they have different level of English. It's not a problem at all. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that was useful. And keep watching, hang out, join the Discord server, and get some help. And have a nice night. And if you need any help, you know where to find me, right?
Okay, thank you, Amit. Bye
No
bye.
problem. Bye.